There we go.
All right, we're good.
Because you are live. What is going on, 49ers faithful? It is your boy Perry. I'm joined by Matt. No Zach today. He had a family matter to deal with, but holy cow, the Niners lost. I am not surprised. I'm not surprised whatsoever. Matt, what happened in this game, man? I mean, it was kind of written on the wall with Nick Mullins starting, but what was the story?
It was just a sloppy game all the way around. Like, from beginning to end, nobody really played well. But I think it all comes down to peak 49ers, which is, you have the opportunity at the end, you do an onside kick, and they return it for a touchdown. There's nothing more 2020 49ers than that. And it was time. It was time to take this old yeller of a season out back and put a bullet in it. We're not going to the playoffs. It's done and over with. So now we can look forward to the draft in April, we'll figure out what we're doing and go from there. We're going to have a lot of interesting topics to see, if the 49ers can retool in 1 year, or if this is going to be a more long-term building project because of the 40 people we have coming up on free agency. What are we going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo and the quarterback situation? Where do we go from here? So, this was a microcosm of everything wrong with this season. Raheem Mostert gets injured, which, we deal with the injury stuff. Mike McGlinchey is Mike McGlinchey again. I don't know how people defend him. He had another awful game. Nick Mullins is a turnover machine. It's everything that could have happened, and then you see, okay, Brandon Ayuk is good. Okay, well, that makes sense. Everything that has happened during the season that has created the 49ers narrative happened today. So that's where we're at pretty much.
Yeah, it was really bad. And I mean, that's kind of been the story all year, is that you can take away from any positive thing in regards to Niners games. Like you said, Ayuk. I mean, we all know what Ayuk is, but it's hard to take away any more positives when the team is getting smacked 41-33. And look, it's amazing that people are still even arguing that Nick Mullins is the guy moving forward, or even just saying that Nick Mullins is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not. And the thing is that everyone will say that, well, look what Nick Mullins has done stat-wise. Look what he's doing. It's like, no, get out of here. And I also hate the argument that Jimmy Garoppolo is far and above and beyond better than Mullins, which I think he is, but it's the idea that Garoppolo is his top 10, top 12 quarterback, that he limits the offense so much, and it just drives me crazy. And look, I like Garoppolo, but I mean, he's not going to elevate the offense after what we see from like Mahomes or even Justin Hurts right now. And you look what Hurts is doing, and I mean, he's lighting it up.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is doing well in Philadelphia. But, I mean, that's, again, we got to wait, though. This is Jalen Hurts' second game starting, and who knows?
Right.
Jimmy lit it up for 5 games in 2017.
Right.
All where that went. So you got to be careful on that.
Yeah,
but I do agree. I think that, anybody expecting Jimmy Garoppolo to be the savior is kind of lost the plot at this point. He's not the savior, but he is far and away better than Mullins.
Yeah, right.
Again, is he Mahomes? No, but how many people are? He's an average quarterback. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo is. But average in this offense is better than what we were getting from Nick Mullins, which is just terrible. I'm tired of looking at Nick Mullins' struggle face. It's almost as bad as Eli Manning's struggle face was. I mean, they both just have the vacant stare on their face, like they can't believe that it's happening to them. It's like, dude, you're doing it to yourself, dude.
You saw I put in the chat earlier. I didn't want to tweet it because I'm not that mean, but it was an article from the preseason that was like Nick Mullins has improved his arm strength, and then on back-to-back plays, Nick Mullins like floats it, like almost intercepted twice, and then one of the interceptions, I mean, he just has no zip on the ball, man, and he's throwing it to the far hash. It's like, dude, no way, not on this.
I put up that Bugs Bunny gif of him flexing, and it's
but yeah, I think what we saw from the quarterback position today, and I mean, Nick Mullins is, I mean, you can't really compare him to anyone just because he's a backup for a reason. But when you see all these quarterbacks elevating their teams to the next level, and yeah, I mean, Hurts is in his second game, but you see what the potential is. And you see that. And then you even see, like, today with the Jets, it's like Sam Darnold led his team to a victory against the Rams. Of all, I mean, that's just
Is there any more Jets things, though, than playing yourself in the I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's absolutely unreal.
They better hope the Jaguars out-Jets the Jets.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so at all. Both teams have tough schedules, but if anyone's going to lose worse, it's the Jags. Hey, I got to shout out the Jets, though, man. Frank Gore caught the game-winning pass. I mean, hey, that's
Frank Gore was born in, like, 1941, still playing, yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Gore.
Yeah, but talking about Mike McGlinchey and the offensive line, man, it was another abysmal day. And I mean, not even to,
he sucks.
yeah, it's really bad. And I mean, it feels like that. I don't know if the team will pick up his 5th year option. I mean, it's hard.
They will, just because, I mean, what's the alternative?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
What else? What are you going to get that's better or cheaper? I know it's going to be like $13 million for them to pick up his 5th year, but I mean, you know,
yeah,
continuity. There's so many other free agents that I don't think you can afford to just like kick him out. And I really think that they're going to push this gaining weight thing that John Lynch talked about, which I've been saying all year. He's too skinny. You know,
they said on the broadcast he was 310. Like, no way, no way he was 310. He's like 210.
That is rookie card. Like, we haven't been on CBS since he was a rookie. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, just abuse. Yeah, man. So I want to talk about the offense though, because you said earlier with Raheem Mostert's injury. Do you feel like, so we know that Tevin Coleman and Jerick McKinnon are likely on their way out. I loved what I saw from Jeff Wilson today. I think he's earned his spot on the team next year. But Mostert's injuries, you know, they just continue to stack up, and it raises the question that can he be durable enough to take on 10 to 15 carries? With this injury, Matt, does it feel like that they got to get another, like, well, okay, so let me phrase it this way. Do you feel like they need a primary running back who can take on 15 to 20 carries?
No, they need this stable. Just these guys that they can keep running through, because like it's one of those things where Shanahan doesn't want a bell cow back in here. He doesn't want a 20 carry guy. That's not what this is about.
Right.
And we see Raheem Mostert, if the blocking's not there, he's not super effective.
Right.
I mean, just to be fair, when he's most effective is when somebody can get out in front of him and open that hole that allows Mostert to speed through. But he's not going to create these holes on his own. And I actually think, you know, what they'll do is they'll just bring in another undrafted guy, or bring in another late round guy, or another free agent. That's what they do. They're just going to rotate. The running backs are expendable in this offense, you know, and good for Mostert getting his money while he could. But I think we understand now why you don't pay running backs this season.
Right.
Key number one, Coleman has been a disappointment, and he makes $5 million, and that's way too much for him. Cargo plane McKinnon crashed on the runway. Get his cargo plane ass out of here. Like, no good. You know, it's just no good, man.
Yeah, it's really bad. So now this kind of leads me to my next question, because it's really interesting too. It's like, obviously they don't never really have like a primary running back. Shanahan has almost never had that throughout his entire career. But you see that Shanahan wanted to lead off with Mostert. He wanted to give Mostert the majority of the carries until he got hurt, and then he had to go to Wilson because Mostert got hurt. Yeah. Going into next season, obviously they're going to keep Mostert. But would you personally keep Mostert as the first running back? Like, would you want to start him in games?
If there's no other option. Well,
right.
The thing is that people are too caught up on this. This happened with Tevin Coleman too, when Tevin Coleman was starting. Like, it doesn't matter who's out there first. They're going to rotate all the guys, and whoever has a hot hand is going to get more carries. That's just the nature of this offense, you know, and the way that Shanahan wants to do it is he wants to run the ball 35, 40 times a game. So it doesn't matter if you start the game, you're going to get touches if you're effective. So It's just getting guys in here that are going to be effective. So,
yeah, and that's the thing too, is I saw a lot of people on social media today were like, oh, Travis Etienne looks good, or oh, some of these running backs look good. And sure they do. But Kyle Shanahan's mantra, or like his motive when building an offense, has never been to draft a running back. Either get him in the late rounds or just go UDFA. And I mean, with everything going on with this team too, it doesn't feel justified to take a running back early or even in the middle rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at worst, Etienne's going to go early second, probably at worst. You know, somebody like Najee Harris is going to be up there too. You're not going to take those running backs. That's got to go out like right off the bat, dude. You know,
Matt Sherman is washed. What's going on?
I watched him on it was like a 3rd and 9 or whatever against Michael Gallup, and Gallup did just a curl route. It was like an 11-yard. And Sherman was so slow coming out of his break to catch up to him. I was just like, it's not even like he had his hips turned and was running like backwards. He was on a back pedal.
Yeah.
And then stopped, and it just took him forever to get there. I just think that Father Time and his once little athleticism is being sapped away, and it's just he whiffed on that tight end tackle, which that was embarrassing.
That was bad. That was really bad, man. The tight end of all people. Ever since the contract talk thing, ever since he brought that up a few weeks ago, it's been tanking down with him. I mean, no surprise, you know what I mean? I mean, it's I think it's hard to look bad on a bad team because usually everyone's bad. And I'm not saying the Niners are bad. They've just been playing bad, especially because of quarterback.
Yeah.
Sherman is like really bad, dude. Sherman is like really bad to say the least.
Yeah. It's Sherman's. He's gonna be gone. He's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Josh says Lynch is going to have such a tough offseason. I have a feeling we're going to be in the building stage again with some key positions. This kind of goes back to what Matt was saying earlier, though, with quarterback. That's the thing. Is like, if you say they do bring in like a Stafford or some type of seasoned veteran who is very proven, I think they keep that window cracked open because of the potential they bring to the offense. But I don't know if the Niners want to really try and fit something into that short-term window when drafting a quarterback really opens that window for 10 to 15 years, assuming it works out.
Right. Yeah. Why do you want – I don't understand the people that want retreads unless it's like somebody who's gone for like a silly reason. Like a Derek Carr I could see taking a chance on because he's having a great season, and it's not going to be because he's not playing well. It's just going to be because him and John Gruden don't get along. That John Gruden likes somebody else or whatever. That would be a reason he would be available, right? But some of these other guys, and I see the people that still want Carson Wentz. Why?
Oh, no way. No.
He's injured as much as Jimmy Garoppolo. And by the way, let's get this out of the way. He's got a $59.2 million dead cap hit. He's not going anywhere. He's going to sit. He came out today and was like, trade me if I can't play. The Eagles are not going to eat that money just for Carson Wentz. They're going to be like, sit down on the bench, shut your mouth, and get paid to do nothing.
Get paid and be quiet. Hold that clipboard.
Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible contract. And you kind of contrast that with the Jimmy Garoppolo contract, and it's like Parag looks like a genius because they can get out $2.8 million on the dead cap, but they have over $25 million in cap savings. So it's just like, oh, that's easy money right there. Get rid of him.
Who do you like better, Wentz or Goff?
Neither.
4-9 says gross. Carr over Stafford.
Stafford's got a $20 million dead cap hit. He's not going anywhere.
And he turns 33.
This is like people who are actually going to be available, not people that you think are going to be available. Detroit's not getting rid of Matt Stafford. Why would they?
Yeah. I think that's the thing too. Is like if you really believe in the quarterback can still elevate your level of play, which I think Stafford does. I don't think Detroit has a reason to keep him. Because I honestly think Detroit is they need to fix the defense. But when you have Stafford, I think Stafford still makes their offense really good. We saw what happened today. He kept them in the game against Tennessee.
Stafford is really good. And if I had a choice, nothing else in consideration between Matt Stafford and Derek Carr, I'd choose Matt Stafford. Because Matt Stafford's better.
Oh, yeah, by a mile. Right.
I'm just saying that the people that could logically be available because, the Raiders can cut Derek Carr. I think he's a free agent after this season.
Is he really? Maybe one more year?
I think he might be. But, he'd actually, out of the people that'll actually be available, then, I think Carr is, out of the retreads, is going to be the best one that's going to be available.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I was saying, it's like Stafford will make your team better. I think he will. Whatever coaching staff that comes in has no reason to get rid of him, honestly. They just need a better defense. The defense is fine, and that's why a lot of people are linking Robert Saleh to that team because it's like if anyone can turn him around with an offense in place, it's Robert Saleh. So
they need a running game too. It just can't be Matt Stafford throwing the ball all the time. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in how long?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, AP has looked all right, but I mean, come on, are you going to build your offense around AP?
Though he's old. Like you draft DeAndre Swift and then play him.
Right.
Allow him to grow.
So, that's why I don't understand. I mean, well, there's a reason why Patricia got fired, and that team is in a mess because they're running AP 20 plus times a game.
Yeah, I mean, other than Brian Flores, that Bill Belichick coaching tree is stinky.
So, Josh, the thing is that if the Niners wanted to get Stafford, I think they could. But like Matt's saying, I'm with him too. It's like I can't see the team. They can't. It's a lot of money to begin with. You're basically cutting Garoppolo, and you're still adding Stafford, who's over $20 million on the cap. You're also adding a quarterback who's starting to get nagging injuries. That's the thing is the moment these guys start getting older, the nagging injuries start to slowly creep up. And Stafford turns 33 next year. Yeah. I still think he's got great talent, but the team shouldn't be looking to get older. They should be looking to get younger and cheaper.
Cheaper is the key because with how many free agents they have, if you're just cutting Jimmy G to go get Matt Stafford, that doesn't fix your interior O-line. It doesn't fix the plethora of free agents you have in the secondary. It doesn't fix your thinness at certain positions like linebacker. Yeah, you can't go out and get like maybe a free agent mid-level edge rusher to complement, if you want to go that route. It cuts you off from doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, I don't think that that's really feasible. For bloodline, Carr signed through 2023. Okay, I didn't know. I thought he was going to be a free agent.
I have the contract right here, though. So after this season, Carr has 2 years left. He's got a $22 million cap hit next year, but 2.5 dead cap. The year after is $19 million and no dead cap. So the Raiders can move on from Carr.
Okay, lose no money. Is that pre-June 1st? The dead cap?
Let's see. Spot Rack has it as pre-June 1st.
So how much in dead cap?
$2.5 million.
Okay, so then they can cut him and it'd be nothing because they'd end up saving like whatever the rest of his contract is.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone said, suggest we go get Andy Dalton. No, Aaron. No. You see, Matt, you saw the people the other night when the Raiders played saying, that Niners should go get Mariota. Like, no way. No. He's CJ Beathard.
And I want to address this. Like, anytime I talk about a guy that, I want or whatever, I am looking at it from like a salary cap perspective because real life isn't Madden football. So I'm not looking at it from the Madden perspective. It's always going to be real life. So, but yeah, these people that are just like, get this retread.
No way.
The reason why they're not star quarterbacks because they're not star quarterbacks.
Right.
I want a star quarterback. So I think the best thing the 49ers can do is draft their guy. Whoever it is, go and get him. Give up extra draft capital. Who cares? Just go get him.
See, that's the thing with this draft class too, is that you can knock Fields, you can knock Wilson all you want. Every quarterback is going to have the knock. That's just how it is, except for Trevor Lawrence. But the thing is too, is people got to factor in it, and it seems like that people aren't getting it across. Is that when are the Niners going to pick top 10 again? You know what I mean? And even if they're not top 10, say they're 10 or 11, when are they going to be in primary position to trade up without having to give up too much? And the trade up's always going to cost a lot. But, to be 10 or 11 and have to trade up, and if you can get a Fields or a Wilson, that's a whole different level of taking the offense to the next step.
Right. Yeah, and, the Jets thing kind of puts that into whack. So, like, if Jacksonville decides to take Trevor Lawrence, maybe whoever comes in for the Jets like Zach Wilson more than Justin Fields, and they take Zach Wilson, then it's do you like Justin Fields enough to go get him? Or if they take Justin Fields and Zach Wilson's still there, do you like him enough to go get him? Or are you okay with your evaluation of Trey Lance? Like, there's a lot that's going to go into it. However, like you said, how many times are they going to pick inside the top 10? And here's the other thing. If you have your elite quarterback outside of the Houston Texans, who are a terribly run franchise and are ruining Deshaun Watson, how often are you going to actually pick in the top 10 again? Kansas City's not picking in the top 10 for the next 10 years.
Right.
When was the last time Pittsburgh picked inside the top 10? Or the Saints, or like whoever, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And then Aaron says it here. We need a mobile quarterback. Guys cannot fix our O-line enough. I think, those times more often than not when the O-line gives our quarterbacks good position, or good blocking, it's just Mullins makes it look so bad. Mullins makes it look so atrocious. And then I know you can Justin School's right guard, not ideal. Mike McGlinchey, he needs to add weight. Mike McGlinchey needs to put on some kind of weight. But really, Matt, the Niners just need a quarterback that can just read and just break a play down in front of him if it's not there. And I feel like they haven't had that in a long time.
No, and I don't think that Mullins is that guy. I don't think that Garoppolo is that guy. I know he had his little moments of mobility before the ACL injury, but he's definitely not that now.
Right.
You don't need a guy that's like Lamar Jackson, but maybe a guy who's a little more Aaron Rodgers than he is Peyton Manning. You know what I mean? Like a guy who can move on his feet, even just move in the pocket and has good pocket mobility.
Right.
That's a guy that you can go get. That would be much more advantageous to have than just a pure pocket passer. And you can see it with, Dwayne Haskins was one of the best college quarterbacks that I've seen in a long time, but he's a statue and he can't get anywhere. So he's very ineffective in the pros because he can't move around. And I think that Shanahan's finally coming around on that. Like, listen, I don't need a pure runner, a Michael Vick, a Lamar Jackson, but I do need a guy who can move around a little bit, extend plays, and then, do something off script every now and again to make a play. Because right now it's like, if they don't get perfect protection, they're in trouble. And the other thing I think too is that the 49ers quarterbacks, even Jimmy Garoppolo, they're kind of short.
6'1", right?
6'2".
6'2", yeah.
Mullins is 6'1".
Yeah.
CJ is 6'3" or 6'4", I think, but he's just not good.
That's different.
But I mean, how many times do we see it? And I don't see it as much with CJ, but definitely with Nick Mullins and Jimmy Garoppolo, their passes get batted down all the time.
Mullins had like 5 passes today, 5 or 6. It was really bad. Yeah. Oh, man, no.
I'm not saying that size always matters, but if your guy can't climb in the pocket or, do the things that like Drew Brees does where he finds a slot in between guys, I even saw it with Kyler Murray today. Kyler Murray had a few passes batted down. You need guys that can see over the top. And, that's why you get a guy like Justin Fields is 6'3". Zach Wilson, I think, is 6'3", 6'4". So You're getting these guys that are a little bit bigger, and I think that would be advantageous to go along with, mobility, as it were. So
I kind of want to kind of expand on that a bit too. Is that when you have a quarterback who's like 6'1" or 6'2", those inches make such a huge difference in terms of getting throws over the top of linemen. And I mean, that's one of like Big Ben's biggest things is that he throws. I mean, obviously he's Big Ben, but having that big style quarterback, he can get throws over the top of defensive linemen and prevent those passes from being batted down. Where you have Mullins and Garoppolo, who they don't necessarily already have a high release. When you're kind of coming just above the shoulder at like a 3/4, those passes are going to get batted down.
Jimmy.
Yeah, especially Jimmy too. And I mean, Jimmy's not the quickest to begin with. So, I mean, the releases are quick, but that's just kind of what Shanahan's offense has dialed up for him.
Yeah.
Aaron says, time to root for the 3 to 5 win teams for draft position. Go Cowboys, yuck. Hey, man, I mean, they got to get their quarterback.
So for the Cowboys, I'm not worried about the Cowboys. The Cowboys finish below us, or a higher draft pick than us. They're going to re-sign Dak Prescott. So, they're not in the quarterback market. I'm worried about the teams that are. So maybe an Atlanta Falcons team or, maybe a Chicago Bears team or something like that.
Even the Panthers, too.
Ty, so somebody pointed this out in the chat today, and I thought it was really poignant that it was like a tweet from somebody. And it's like, isn't it interesting that nobody has ever talked about the 49ers and potentially trying to rework Jimmy's deal? I don't think they want to. I think they're going to.
No.
So here's what I think is going to happen. They're not going to say anything on Jimmy Garoppolo. They're going to go through the entire draft process. If they can get their guy, they're going to draft their guy and either cut or trade Garoppolo immediately. If they can't get their guy, they're going to try to rework Garoppolo. And if they can't, then they might cut him and bring in another free agent. That's what I foresee happening because they have to. I mean, the draft happens, so the new league year starts, there's free agency, there's stuff like that. They might have to make a move before then. But if they don't, they're going to hold off on Garoppolo as long as they can. But the fact that they haven't talked about restructuring him is really telling to me that I don't think that they necessarily want to. I don't think they like him, especially Kyle. I don't think Kyle likes him at all.
No. You can probably go back to last year's games, too, and see how many times Shanahan threw his hands up in the air saying, oh, my God, Garoppolo missed that throw, or oh, my God, he threw too high. But what you said there kind of at the end is that they don't necessarily want to rework Garoppolo. And if a quarterback's not there, even if they trade up and something happens, or they just don't want to trade up for a quarterback. Can you justify them taking a quarterback in the second round at that case?
No. You got to go get your guy.
See,
you don't listen, these second or third round guys, you can't no more. Go get a superstar. Go get a superstar. Yeah. Josh Hutchins, I want to point out real quick. Actually, the 49ers are 11th. If the draft was today, they're 11th because they lose the tiebreaker to the Cowboys, the Chargers, and the Lions due to strength of schedule.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Fortnite, no one wants a $24 million cheerleader.
No, but apparently the Eagles are going to have a $59 million cheerleader.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Goff might be on his way too if he keeps losing these games.
I don't think it's all on Goff, though. I really don't think that's on Goff.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Rams didn't do what they needed to do today, but it's not like the defense gave up 23 points to the Jets.
The Jets, yeah. I think the Jets were plus 18 and a half points to cover.
That's crazy.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal.
But I mean, Darnold looked like a guy that you're like, oh, this might be a guy. Right. Oh, man, he might be a player. So to me, that was more on the defense than it was on the offense. And I think that's a lot of of the issue with the Rams is defensively they're not that great.
No. They're Aaron Donald and Ramsey, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what someone said too is that the Niners' wins over the Rams don't look as impressive because the Jets won. I kind of disagree with that because it's like you have the Niners who came in. I mean, they lost both.
I hate that.
Right?
Yeah, that perspective sucks.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It doesn't matter because they lost to the Jets. Like, people lose.
Yeah, it happens, right?
The NFL is any given Sunday, and it's about this type of season that you put together. And the fact that the Rams have this many wins and the 49ers have beaten them twice, just because the Jets beat them too doesn't take away from the 49ers wins. I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that the 49ers have been historically injured this year and have had so many people out in a year where they're not playing at their home stadium because they're not allowed to. That doesn't take away from that. You know, that's a reductionist take. That's Twitter warriors that don't know anything. It's just that's what it is.
It's like last year, right? It's like when the Niners lost to the Falcons. No one said like, "Oh, that just means that the Niners beating whoever or losing to whoever doesn't look as good." You know, right. I mean, I don't think any of us really thought the Niners were going to lose to the Falcons last year. And then, you know, going into Seattle, that game was huge. But it happened. It's football. It's part of the sport. But Matt, kind of talking about quarterbacks a little bit, I think the writing's on the wall that the team doesn't want Garoppolo.
Yeah.
They want to go after a quarterback. Do you feel like that? Okay, where's Zach Wilson territory? Obviously, it's top 5. Can you see the Niners getting?
I actually don't think he's top 5. I don't think they're going to go top 5.
Really?
Yeah, no. I just don't think that there's. So Jacksonville and the Jets are probably taking one. I don't think Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's not. They're taking Penei Sewell. That's who they're taking. They're going to take to Carolina's number 4. They're on the hook for Bridgewater, so they're probably not going to take a quarterback. You have Atlanta at 5. They're on the hook for Matt Ryan. They could potentially take one, but do you waste a year of that rookie contract to sit behind Matt Ryan, or do you let Matt Ryan rock for one more year, especially with the new coaching staff who you don't know is going to be there on a short preparation time? Exactly why Shanahan didn't. I think the range for Zach Wilson is anywhere from 5 to 10. And so you got to feel comfortable moving up there. And as you get closer to the draft, you're going to see movement happen with, you know, okay, maybe this guy comes in and, you know, all the teams talk to each other. You know, it's not like everything's a huge secret. To some extent, you keep your cards close to your vest, but it's pretty obvious when all the scouts are there. If you're going to these college games and you're like, oh, the Falcons scout is here again for this quarterback. They might be looking for. You can kind of infer as to who these people are looking for.
Right.
So, yeah,
I mean, man, they got to go after a quarterback, though. It was really bad today. In the Bay, turnover and penalties killed us. I mean, the penalties, I didn't really notice the penalties stood out to me as much as
I noticed the Slim Mike penalty.
Well, I mean, hey, he's good for a couple of weeks, though. He's good for, but the turnovers, though, man, I mean, it's so I want to get my stance.
It was 8 straight games with at least 2 turnovers.
Yeah, they had
That's terrible.
They have 22 turnovers now in the past 8 games. 22. That's an average of about almost 2 per game.
It's almost 3 per game.
3, yeah. Sorry, my math sucks. Okay, so this is, I mean, Kyle Shanahan said it in his presser today. He was like, Nick Mullins' turnover in the 4th quarter or something didn't really justify me having to take him out. Like, because you know how earlier in the week Shanahan was like, oh, turnovers, you know, if Mullins goes out and makes turnovers again, we can't, you know, I have to pull him out, or, you know, we can't stand for turnovers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that the Niners should have went with Beathard earlier in the game, or did they just have to rock it with Mullins?
It doesn't matter. They both suck. Like, that's the thing. It doesn't, at this point, it doesn't matter. And everybody knows it doesn't matter. Like, people who are like, they should just put CJ in. Well, obviously they practice during the week, and there's stuff during practice that they're like, no, we got to stay with him.
Oof.
Right? And, like, part of it is, like, again, I said this, and this is, like, half tongue-in-cheek. I think Shanahan likes Beathard more, so he doesn't want to put him in a position where it's going to, like, just ruin him, right?
Yeah.
Beathard is a guy that he's going to keep around to hold the clipboard and help out the young guys, and, you know, he's the locker room mascot, if you will. He's going to be that guy, the Josh McCown guy that's going to be around for 15 years and doesn't – the Chase Daniels, right?
Oh, yeah.
For his entire, like, 50,000-year career.
He's so
– I know, except backup Drew Brees and backup Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
That's his whole career. And it's just like, come on, man.
CJ throws a hell of a better deep ball. Newbie, what happened on the Saints game? What happened on that deep ball in the Saints game? The Richie James, the one that was underthrown by like 5 yards.
I don't know what that was. Maybe I don't know. But this one was like legit over 65 yards in the air.
That was a good throw. Yeah. That was a dime.
I saw him fade further back too, and I'm like, he's gonna launch this thing.
Yeah, he said it was a dime though.
And of course, Kendrick Bourne makes the tough catch.
Yeah,
of course he does.
Yeah. Hey, he solidified the reason the team should bring him back next year, though. I still like Bourne. I thought I liked what I saw from him today.
Well, we talked about, me and Zach talked about this too. As like a 3 or a 4, Bourne is solid. Like, keep him around. I think he should be kept around. It's just when you get into the territory when like Ayuk and Debo were both out and KB's like your number 1, that's when you're going to be in trouble because you don't want him being number 1.
Newbie also says Niners need to solve the injury issue. Man, I mean, injuries happen in the sport. You know?
Yeah,
I do. I mean,
there's no way. Like perfect example today. How do you prevent Jimmy Ward getting knocked out cold when he's trying to make a play? Like, that's just football. Really how do you prevent somebody from rolling up on Nick Bosa? You can't. That's just a freak accident. How do you Quentin Williams rolling up on Jimmy that caused this whole issue? This isn't what like the training staff is doing. Now, if you have like conditioning issues like with Debo, that's definitely something to look at, and those are preventable things. The muscle strains and stuff like that, that's just a conditioning and nutrition issue that with better flexibility training, better conditioning, better diet, better whatever, you can kind of mitigate some of those. But like these major injuries, there's no way that you can prevent those. That's just that is what it is. That's football, and we've just historically snake bit this year. That's all. Right.
I mean, so many high ankle sprains though. I mean, same thing, you know what I mean? It happens. Yeah. It absolutely happens. Hey, the conditioning thing, though, man, until you pointed that out, I didn't realize Debo had a little gun on him.
Yeah.
He had a little gun on him.
Go back and look at like even his just his arms. Look how cut his arms are last year versus what they were this year. And you can see a complete difference. He's softer.
Yeah, he put a few pounds on him, man. He looks like he's ready to be a running back. Aaron says, I'm wondering if the Niners really limit Ayuk snaps. I don't think you can not with a rookie. No, you got to let those rookies play, man. I mean,
it's not like you're coming back from an injury like George Kittle. They're not going to play George Kittle now. Like, Kittle's going to just sit. But for a guy who hasn't been injured, who's just out there playing, like, you don't stop football players from playing football on the off chance that they're going to get injured. If you play scared like that, you're never going to win anything. And I know it's not about winning right now, but it's definitely about development. And him seeing the field and getting the most snaps possible is going to be best for his long-term development.
I mean, you're right, first and foremost, but I want to talk about Ayuk a little more, man. I don't understand why Richie James had another fumble on the punt. He's got to stop.
Yeah.
The punt return's ridiculous.
By the way, let's not let Trent Taylor off the hook either, because his non-fair catch that the ball got down at the 2-yard line, that was a huge mistake.
That was bad. Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah, I don't understand why those guys don't try and catch it to begin with. I mean, even if it's a couple extra yards, you got to limit that happening. Punter, I mean, I feel like punters are getting better these days anyways, and it's like all I see are balls down at the 5 or 10 if the team doesn't go for it on 4th.
Right.
But so I don't get why Kyle Shanahan's saving Ayuk for the 4th quarter on punt returns. And it's like the 3rd or 4th game in a row he's used them in the 4th quarter. I don't see why.
That's an area where you don't want to put somebody at risk for injury.
Okay.
That's the one area because, as a rookie, you can tell him in this situation, this is what you're going to do, but that really comes with experience. And if he's back there and maybe he fields a punt that he shouldn't, and then he gets just smashed, you don't want to take that chance. Put the expendable guys back there, put James back there and Taylor back there because they don't care. It doesn't matter for them. So.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like so with quarterbacks too? It's kind of the same thing. Well, not really. Let me get this right first. So like what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts, for example, they put him in for like one play. Same with Tua, they put him in for one play or one drive just to kind of get him up to game speed. Do you feel like that same concept applies to punt returns? Because I mean, we've seen what Ayuk does on punt returns. I mean, he's a dynamic dude, but to not let him go, and I know it's an injury thing, but you'd feel at the least they want to get him kind of more exposed to returning punts.
There's no control though. Like if you put Jalen Hurts in on a play, right? Let's say it's like a wildcat play or something like that. you have control over that play. You know what that play is. You know where everybody's job is. But on a punt return, you have no idea where the ball's going. You have no idea if the gunners are going to push their guy out of bounds or if they're going to get a free release. Are you punt blocking? Are you, doing like punt safe man? Like, are you, whatever. You have no idea. Is it going to be a 40-yard punt or a 60-yard punt? You can't tell ahead of time. So there's too many variables to just be like, well, we can put them out here and get them up to game speed, because it's not the type of play that you have on offense when it's a scripted play and everybody has a defined role for that particular play. You're not going to have a wide receiver who's like, I'm supposed to run a dig route, but screw that, I'm going to run a curl instead. Like that's not what happens. On a punt return, anything can happen, so it could get blocked. And then what happens? Like if it gets partially blocked and he has to run up and field it, or takes a funky bounce and he tries to field it or not try to field it. So too many variables there. And especially with a rookie, he's having enough on his plate trying to learn the playbook and being as dynamic as possible on the offense where they have control, to put him in there on special teams where you can potentially risk him getting hurt and you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Newbie says CeeDee Lamb looked damn good on punt return. CeeDee Lamb looked good in general. I mean, that entire. I mean, Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper got shut down though. I don't even think he has his name called upon today.
He had a catch at some point.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened with him, but I think they were. I mean, I know what happened with him. It was Andy Dalton, really. But yeah, Amari Cooper had 2 catches for 10 yards. That wasn't good.
No, not at all. But CD and Michael Gallup both had well-respected days.
Yeah.
So,
I want to address something Newbie says in the comments. I'm going to defend Jimmy G on this.
Go ahead.
Jimmy G threw that bad screen and shortened Kittle's season. Shortened it by 1 game. The foot injury that Kittle has now, it has no relation to that screen pass. There are 2 entirely different injuries. That was a knee for Kittle. That was like a knee sprain, not the foot that he broke his foot. Like that's just a freak injury.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about these freak injuries. That's not on anybody, really.
It happens. It's part of the game.
Even on that Jimmy G screen, yeah, it put Kittle up in the air, but guess what? He was back down on the ground with his knee flexed when he got hit and Budda Baker went low. So blame Budda Baker, who loves George Kittle's knees for some reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if he was doing that properly, it doesn't guarantee that Budda still wouldn't have hit him in that knee. So,
yeah. I mean, Jimmy G screen passes aren't that good to begin with, though.
No. I don't know why they throw him. He's not good at them.
Yeah. Here you go. Do you think Niners will bring back Juice? I feel they won't, but I hope so.
It's going to depend on how much he wants.
Yeah. I can't justify paying. I mean, with the salary cap next season, on top of having to resign, or not even resign, just bring back at least 5 or 10 of the 40 guys that are going, including Juice being one of them. I can't. What's his salary now? He makes about 5 or 6 per year, I think.
Oh, he's maybe like 6.5.
I can't see them doing that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It depends on how much. Like he's super underutilized, so they can go and get a guy. Like if they just want a guy to block, they can go get that guy. That's not gonna be a big deal. But I mean, Juice today had a couple of super dynamic plays that. Yeah,
someone finally hit him on the road.
Yeah, it's like, why don't they use him more? I don't get it. So
yeah, I mean, to pay him that much, just have him be a glorified blocker. When I mean, he got blown up blocking last week too. Yeah. It's really bad. I mean, if they do let Juice walk, though, I could see them, replacing fullback. Maybe they bring back Daniel Helm, bring back someone who's familiar to position, or just another fullback. Yeah. I can totally see him doing that. But I just $5 to $6 million per year, man.
Convert one of the tight ends to fullback.
Right, that's what they were doing. Daniel Helm.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a tight end, brought him in as a fullback too. Hospital ball. The league makes guys hit lower now, so you get more leg injuries now. I mean.
Dude, tough. Yeah, I mean that is what it is. 4-9 bloodline. It's called a hospital ball. That wasn't a hospital ball. A hospital ball is a slant that you throw high, and the guy has to jump for it over the middle with a safety bearing down. Throwing it to the flat, and he jumped and he landed, and then got hit after he already landed and was turned upfield. That's not a hospital ball, dude. That's Budda Baker going low. Like that's just that's football. That happens.
It's part of the game, man. Injuries happen.
No, it wasn't a good ball, but that's not a hospital ball, and that's not why George Kittle got hurt. Come on.
No,
let's blame Jimmy for real stuff, not for made up stuff.
Yeah,
it wasn't, by all means, it wasn't a good pass. But to say that's what got George Kittle injured and take all of the onus off of Budda Baker going straight at his knee off of Budda Baker, when Budda Baker's done that before, So
Yeah,
last year when it happened to Kittle, was that on Jimmy too? On that shovel to I think it was the running back, and George Kittle was coming back to do the block, and then Buddha went right into his knee.
Yeah, right into it. It was bad. It was really bad.
I think Juszczyk got hurt because somebody went at his knee. Like, dude, that's how DBs are doing it these days. They're going at people's knees. That's how it goes.
It's part of the game. I mean, the game's changing.
Unfortunately.
We see all the roughing the passer calls get, these days anyways. It's like DBs and guys in general can't really afford to hit high.
Yeah. Honestly, I would rather have guys going at other guys' knees than going at their heads because concussions are crazy.
Yeah. I'd rather have
punchy at 55, 60. You don't want to be like not even able to eat your own soup.
Yeah.
It's tough. You're limited in what you can do. I mean, and a guy like Buda Baker is significantly smaller than George Kittle. And if it was like heads up, we know that George Kittle's going to dribble him like a basketball right off the ground. So what's he going to do?
Yeah. Hey, talking about the defensive side of the ball, though, man, Eric Armstead, he finally played today. I didn't even realize he was on the team.
I thought the world was ending.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. Eric Armstead got a sack?
Armstead's playing? What are you talking about?
I was like, did the four horsemen of the apocalypse just ride by? What's going on? 2020, who would have known?
Oh, my God. I know. I couldn't believe I even heard his name.
It was on a sweet delayed blitz into a stunt. It was like
drawn
up defensive play, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he went unblocked, though. I mean, he finally capitalized on that. Just hit him. Phew.
Kinlaw was a beast, though, today.
They nailed that pick.
Explain to me how that wasn't a fumble. Andy Dalton.
So that's what didn't make sense to me. So it's like
that was a fumble. 100% that was a fumble.
The ball, he didn't even have clear possession when the ball went in his waist. It was loose. It was clearly loose. That was
crazy.
I mean, refs. So hey, I'll take the loss though, I guess.
But it's that was one of those things where like, okay, so if the threshold for having control is having the ball on your hand, then why was Nick Mullins' fumble a fumble?
Yeah,
because he pushed forward. You want it both ways. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
That takes away a great forced fumble from Kinlaw, who just went in there and just like gorillaed the ball and not.
Oh my God! Yeah, you saw the hand came down.
And just like boom,
he nailed that thing. He nailed that ball, Dalton.
There was a little scrum too that Kinlaw got in when he got in the dude's face. And I was like, why are you getting in Kinlaw's face? He will kill you.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, he played so well today. I was very impressed with Javon Kinlaw. He looked great.
Me too. I mean, it's a lot of people who are saying that, Kinlaw's not going to fill up the box score. Of course he's not. He's not playing next to Bosa and Ford. I mean, he's got a very underperforming Eric Armstead. But I think that's what gets me the most exciting about Kinlaw is that he's doing all of this without the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Not to knock Hyder and the other guys, because Hyder's been good too. But Kinlaw is just manhandling offensive linemen, and he's making it look easy. I think he's making it look really easy.
Yeah. And he's there to set up the table. He's not defensive tackles outside of Aaron Donald traditionally aren't huge like stat guys, but what they do is they eat up double teams so that the edge rushers can go one-on-one. So
yeah, they do the dirty work. I mean, Kinlaw's been doing that all season, and it's the Niners shouldn't have traded Buckner away. It's like
newbie. The call on the field was not a fumble. Yeah, but it was very clear that it was a fumble.
Yeah. That's what I didn't get is he lost possession on the initial hit, and he never even had any type of recovery when the ball went down.
It's not like he retucked it.
No, not at all. I mean,
all he did was so if a receiver, right, they have the ball, they have it, they're going to the ground, and it comes loose, and he traps it with his body, and it touches the ground, is that a catch? No. So why, if Andy Dalton traps it with his forearm, why is that not a fumble? After Kinlaw already made the ball go from his right hand to his left, and he just kind of like was trying to regain.
Yeah.
He didn't have possession when he went to the ground. That's fumble. So it's just that was terrible officiating.
Yeah, refs being refs.
Yeah.
It's no surprise though. But hey, man, either way, I'm really happy with Kinlaw. He's come along really fast too.
Oh, yeah.
And since the Saints game, I think he's turned it up 100%. 100%. And then as for the rest of the defense, man, they gave up what was the final score? 41. That last touchdown.
I mean that CeeDee Lamb touchdown, whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And then the Tony Pollard. I mean, you saw the defense was tired, man. You saw after that Mullins pick, that was
Yeah.
They counted for God, after the pick, 31 points off turnovers. 31 points off turnovers.
Yeah, and you're not going to win that way.
No, not at all. And I mean, Robert Saleh solidified his case as to why he should be a head coach. Is that he kept the team in the game up until Mullins screwed it for him. So
Mullins accounted for 3 of the turnovers and then the Richie James fumble on the punt return.
Yeah,
Richie James had a couple of drops today. That was ugly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Ayuk looked great. River Craycraft had a catch. That's the boy. Kendrick Bourne himself had, a couple of really good days.
He had a few catches.
Yeah,
Ayuk got them late. So.
Yeah, give me those garbage time stats.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly. Something else earlier, and I want to address it because it was up in the comments like way, way earlier at the beginning about Ford's cap. If D Ford retires, does anybody know his cap implications? If he retires, we're off the hook
entirely.
His contract's gone.
Yeah, I mean, re-signed Hyder and placed him opposite Bosa. I think Hyder played himself out of a contract. I think Hyder's played himself out of re-signing with the team.
I don't know. I don't know. It's going to depend because on an off year, a guy who nobody has ever heard of had a really good season. Are they going to say, "Well, show it to me again"? Or I think they have the potential to bring him back on a short-term deal, like a 2-year deal, for reasonable money. But
I mean that makes me think of Blair too. I think they're going to try and bring back Blair also on a really cheap deal.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, Ronald Blair gets injured so much that I'm like,
Kinlaw will break out when Bosa comes back. Whew.
Dude, if they're both on the same side of the ball, holy crap.
Yeah. Oh my God. Man.
They're just not doing anything on the left side of your offense. Just
good luck.
Just roll out right every play.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
It's even more exciting too because when the Niners can finally put Armstead back inside where he was really good last season, I think the defensive line still has all the potential to be just as good. But a lot of that too is going to stem from who they're going to bring in as a DC next year. I've seen someone in the chat earlier said Dan Quinn. I could see them bringing in Dan Quinn. I could also see them going internally.
Listen, we're counting our chickens before they're hatched. That's to say, even Robert Saleh wants to leave. So
I don't see that.
I'm not going to talk about that stuff before we even know because there's no.
Yeah. Yeah,
if he doesn't leave, then we're just spinning our wheels on stuff that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he could go to Detroit or somewhere else, but there's no guarantee that he's going to. So, I mean, at this point, it's pure speculation. So, I'm more worried about players than I am about coaches.
Yeah, bringing back players and
I don't want to bring in Dan Quinn. If we were going to replace anybody, just upgrade D'Amico Ryans and make him defensive.
Right. Yeah, I was reading an article too that was like, so if they don't go internally, someone said Vic Fangio, and I was like, no, they can't do defensive scheme change.
Yeah, right, they're not going to go back to a 3. They don't have the personnel to run a 3-4, dude.
No,
this is the Twitter stuff that makes me mad. People just say stuff like it's Madden. Like you can just go in there and you're like, well, now I'm going to run a 3-4. Now I'm going to run a 4-4.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to run a 5-2. Like
they go for schemes in the coaches tab, right?
Personnel matters, dude. Like I don't understand how this is so hard. People still are like, go and get Carson Wentz. $59.2 million in dead cap. Even if the 49ers wanted to do that all day, there's no way that the Eagles are just going to eat $59 million off of their cap.
Right. Same with Matt Ryan too. I can't.
Like 30% of their cap. They're not going to do that.
And they still lose out on money over 4 years too. It's not just 1 year. Also, it's the Carson Wentz stuff is crazy, man.
It's
and then Mariota and Dalton and Stafford. It's
just like put any quarterback name out there on Twitter, and a 49er fan will be like, man, I'd love to have him.
Yeah, right. I've seen the Trubisky stuff too, dude. I mean, that's a rabbit hole.
That was in a Matt Mayoko mailbag, and I was like,
I saw that.
Oh no,
I wouldn't even pick that question.
No.
I mean, so it's like I think Shanahan could get a lot out of the Trubisky. It's just it wouldn't be much.
I don't think that he could. Like, I actually think Matt Nagy is a good coach.
Yeah,
but I don't think that he can do anything as far as like Mitch Trubisky isn't gonna. You're not gonna have. He can't throw to his left.
No.
I challenge you to find me 10 good Mitch Trubisky throws to his left. He doesn't do it.
I'd say 10 good throws. Trubisky won today for Minnesota, but a lot of people are forgetting that they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he's really in the contract year.
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to try and play well in the contract.
He got benched for Nick Foles, and then got unbenched because Nick Foles really sucks.
It's a mess with these guys all the way around.
Shanny needs to get a guy that's his from the start that he doesn't have to overwrite bad habits with.
Right. I just
spend a year to do that.
I just want a quarterback that can hit all levels of the field. You know, they need someone who can just go downfield consistently. And I don't mean like having like Drew Lock where he's throwing 15 yards per attempt, which is insane. It's a quarterback that can who can threaten defenses downfield. We don't have anyone that can do that, except for Beathard. I mean, Beathard threw a dime today.
Right, but they each have their weaknesses. Beathard can't throw between the numbers.
And he's a pocket. And he's just in the pocket. So I mean, it's bad. They got to get a quarterback, man. That's just where it starts.
Yeah.
No defensive ends. I mean, we need O-line and secondary, but if they're in a position to get a quarterback in the first round.
That always kills me so bad. The people that are like, let's go edge. I'm like, stop. We're not going to go on edge again, dude.
Bob says, I've never seen one team have so many injuries as we did. No excuses implied.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
Reminiscent of like the mid-2000s Chargers teams.
Oh.
That just were always hurt.
That feels like them now. Those dudes are still getting out there.
Yeah.
I
mean, dude, they're so like in non-strike seasons, this is the most players we've ever had play one or more games for the team. That's so crazy.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. 49 says no Chris Kosirik DC talk. You can't even talk about DCs until Saleh officially leaves. Matt said it earlier. You just can't.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, everyone's also saying too.
I don't want to take away from the line position.
Yeah, I see. Aaron's got Zoolander can't turn to his left.
That's true.
That's very true. Josh says just someone that can extend the play. He's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it happens. I know Mullins isn't a good comparison or example, but even when Mullins gets out of the pocket and makes a throw on the run, he can't hit the throw on the run, but you see how open the receiver is.
Sometimes, because other times it sails out of bounds like 5 yards to the right, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit that throw. He hit a throw today that was nice, but
he hit Ayuk downfield that was just out of bounds. That was a good throw. That was on the run, I think.
Yeah, but again, it was out of bounds.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, this is a good throw if Brandon Ayuk had like zero shot of catching. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he still caught that out of the bounds, though. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's more Ayuk being impressive than anything else. But
yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, someone actually threw it down to me. See, Aaron here. Draft your quarterback, go get him. Keep CJ to teach system. Maybe sign veteran as a bridge. Jimmy G. Mullins, get quarterback, get online secondary. O-line and secondary is definitely a need, though. I think
that's what I think is going to happen, though. I think they're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to keep CJ because Shanahan likes CJ, and he's going to be his guy. You keep him there because he has – we talked about this on the previous show because CJ's an actual player. He's going to be able to show a young guy on the field stuff that Shanahan, despite his wizardry, isn't going to know because he doesn't play NFL quarterback, right? Yeah. So it's just a field perspective that Shanahan's not going to have. And that's just more than one voice talking at the young guy to get him out there to play well. And then, you can sign a veteran guy to initially take over and then maybe have a rookie in week 3 or 4. But, I mean,
Ryan,
your guy is going to be your guy, so you might as well just play him.
Yeah.
Just limit the offense and then spoon feed him a little more each week.
Right.
Lean heavily on the run game. Put him out there with scripted plays. Send him out there with like the big fat wristband that has like 87 plays on it. Right?
Yeah.
You just go in there and go, look, you do this, I'm gonna do this, right? Until he gets the verbiage down, and then go from there. So Shanahan's gonna be in his ear until 15 seconds on the play clock when it shuts off. He's gonna tell him what to call, and then that's gonna be that. But yeah, you definitely they need to draft a guy for sure. Like
right.
We're gonna do another live draft show. That's for sure because we had last year
about that.
Oh my God, we're gonna wait because when they did Kinlaw at first, we were pissed. But,
right, and then when they traded for Ayuk, it's like okay,
yeah. And so this year, if it's pick 10 or whatever they're at, man, if they don't get that QB, I'm gonna be like, oh.
Dude,
are we getting Mac Jones in the 3rd? What's happening right now?
We're not. I don't even speak that.
Right.
I love the talk though that people like literally before Ayuk started exploding, everyone's like, "See, they could have got Ayuk in the second round. They didn't need to trade up for him and this and that." And Ayuk doesn't even have a quarterback thrown to him, and he's doing this.
He's really good.
I like that. I like this one here too. It's a shame Ayuk's year was wasted. I wouldn't say it's wasted because he's
not wasted.
really well. It's just his ceiling isn't at where it should be because of quarterback play.
I don't even think that's true. I think he's showing how good he's going to be. And if anything, everybody should be excited because it's like when he gets a real quarterback, now you're looking at like a 1,200-yard receiver every year. It's very clear that Brandon Ayuk is the best wide receiver on this team.
Without a doubt.
He's better than Deebo Samuel. He's obviously better than Kendrick Bourne. Like Brandon Ayuk is the number one for the 49ers going forward. So that should excite everybody.
Bourne was a no-show as usual. Bob, what game were you watching?
What are you talking about? You caught that Hail Mary, dude.
Yeah, Bob, what are you talking about?
65-yard touchdown, man.
God. So earlier, though, you know,
he had a couple of first down catches too.
Yeah, he had a couple of big yard catches outside the hill.
Bourne 4 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown. So if you take away that huge play, which was like I think it was like a 50-yard touchdown, it's 3 for 36, like 12 yards a catch.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Ayuk was 9 for 73 and a touchdown, which his touchdown, I know it counts as a touchdown reception, but damn, that was a good play call.
Oh, yeah.
He shoveled it to him and he ran it in. Oh, man.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. It's, you know, the red zone play calling from Shanahan still scares me, though, but it's hard for me to judge it personally just because of having, you know, such an inept quarterback. It limits Shanahan so much, especially.
Yeah, we talked about it on the preview, and it's just like, why are you going to show everything that you can do if you don't have the quarterback to do it? Yes, Jenna, we are still on the Zach Wilson line.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's the realistic guy that the 49ers are going to want, can get, and that they're going to like. You know, it's easy to say, oh, we want Trevor Lawrence, but they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars are going to take him, provided they don't out-Jets the Jets. They're going to take Trevor Lawrence, you know, and then who knows from there. So I think it's very possible Zach Wilson ends up here, and, I mean, I'm here for it. Zach Wilson, number 1, 49ers. Let's go.
Right. It's about time, man. And even if Zach Wilson comes in, too, I think they play him right away. I know I would like him to spoon feed him the offense like you're saying, too, but, man, I think you just got to get Zach Wilson out there.
Yeah, get him out there. He went to BYU. He's smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the last good BYU quarterback the Niners had was who?
Steve Young.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
General says, what pick do you think the Niners select from? Well, if they get Zach Wilson, it's got to be that 6 to 8 range, like you were saying.
Yeah, as far as record-wise, I think they're going to finish in the 8 to 10 range.
Yeah.
They're probably going to finish 5-11.
Right.
So depending on how the other teams do that are below us, we could move up significantly. But probably in that 8 to 10 range is where the 49ers are going to start from baseline. And then if they think somebody's going to take Zach Wilson, they can package in some picks and move up. And it'll be easier from 8 than it will from 11 where they're at right now. Yeah.
And, I mean, that's the thing, too, is that you have a lot of people who will say, like, oh, they need to hold on to the draft capital. That draft capital is very expensive. Not when it's your quarterback. Not when you're going to get that quarterback. It doesn't matter. Like, when the Chiefs traded up for, you would not redo that trade ever again. In fact, it looks like the Bills didn't pay enough or didn't get enough from the Chiefs because of Mahomes.
Right.
Like, you know, you look at that. It's unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Where do you think they second round pick they go? Corner.
Second round pick? Corner that they like, I think they may go corner. If not, I think they're going interior offensive line. Because they got we don't even know what's going to happen with Weston and Richburg. I mean, you know, and the guard play has been suspect.
Very.
So they need to do something there. And I think they can get they're going to be able to get a more top flight interior offensive lineman in the second round, whereas all of your elite corners are going to be gone in round 1. And then you can start picking up project guys or like guys that are like second tier in like late round 2, early round 3, somewhere like there. But interior offensive line, because the position isn't really premium or sexy, as it were, you can get a really good player in the second round.
Right. They can, you know, that's the thing, too, is we saw it last year, especially with Witherspoon. It's like when Witherspoon had the good pass rush, he was looking like an all-pro cornerback, in my opinion. And I think you get Nick Bosa back, you have a better Kinlaw, you get the defensive line back. I think they could afford to roll out their rookie corner or even just a bridge corner, someone who will go out there and just execute but also take advantage of such a good pass rush.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Aaron Paul. I'll tell you what I don't like about Trey Lance. He didn't play this year, and he went to a small school. And him not playing this year is the biggest one because what you don't get to see that growth that he would have had otherwise. So you don't get to see and match his tape from last year to his tape from this year. Now you're looking at tape that's like 13 months old, and you have to kind of weigh that against what you're going to see at a combine, say, or a pro day under a very strict and advantageous position for the quarterback at play. To me, I watch out for those super small school guys too. Is there stuff there that I like? Yes. And I think Trey Lance could be a guy for somebody, but I think he's too much of a project at this point for this team.
I can't justify the Niners taking him at 9th, 10th, or 11th.
No, he's like a teens type of quarterback pick.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Lamar. That's the thing too. Is like Lamar Jackson, for example. Lamar played at the position, and he still went 32nd. So it's like, and obviously you look at what Lamar is now, but before that,
I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy winner too.
Yeah, and he was a Heisman Trophy, and he still went 32nd. So why would you want to take a quarterback 9 to 10, 11 for a guy who hasn't even played a whole year?
Yeah, I think again, and that's why I'm not super fond of Kyle Trask either. Besides the fact that he's a statue, it's like he didn't play high school. He didn't play high school quarterback. Really, he was stuck behind a De'Aaron King, who's at Houston.
Yeah,
because De'Aaron King was like the 5-star guy, and so he didn't really play quarterback at all until last year when he took over for what's his face, Felipe Franks.
Yeah, I think Felipe Franks is at.
Yeah, and so it's such a small sample size. Yeah, and that's again, Mitch Trubisky was a guy that was a 1-year starter, and he went 2nd overall, and we all saw how that turned out, right? Carson Wentz is a small school guy, and we saw how that turned out. There's usually something to the fact that if you're not getting into a Division I school, there's usually a reason for it.
Right.
And so it really makes me nervous when a guy hasn't played and we have to look at that kind of tape and like guesswork. This team cannot afford to guess wrong. And so you have to take a guy that you look at and go, is this guy polished? And that's what you're going to see. So.
Yeah. And I mean, lastly, too, with Zach Wilson, it's like out of BYU, he's coming out professional style offense. He's throwing guys wide open, and he's also throwing to guys who right now, both of his wide receivers are probably like late round picks, which is respectable. It's respectable, but it's not like at LSU where Burrow was throwing to Jefferson and Jamar Chase, or Lawrence is throwing to another first round wide receiver. And I don't want to knock Lawrence. Lawrence is great, but having those wide receivers help a lot. And Zach Wilson
and if you're going to have all those weapons, you need to be historically good, which is why Joe Burrow went number 1 overall, because he had the best college football season that's ever been.
Right. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence has strung together years of fantastic performances that you can lean on. Came in as a true freshman and won a national championship. Like, you just don't see that. So that's where you differentiate. You can say, is the guy or is it the weapons? And I think that's why a lot of people have Mac Jones pegged as like a 2nd or 3rd round guy, because it's like, okay, cool, but you got like all these weapons because it's Alabama. Right.
Oh yeah, I mean 3 first round wide receivers.
Yeah.
Smith. Well, that was not even playing, and then the other guy's been good too.
Yeah.
God. Do we still get a for Emmanuel Sanders?
We're going to get 5th this year.
Yeah, we'll get 5th.
For Emmanuel.
Fellow leaves, I don't know. 80%? Nah.
Yeah, we don't know yet. It's going to depend. I think the trend is away from defensive guys, to be honest. And I think everybody's pegging him to Detroit, and I know that politicians have like lobbied the team to hire him or whatever, but they just had a couple defensive guys in a row, and I think that they might flip it and try to go offense just because – teams get really weird about this stuff. And they're like, well, we just did a defensive guy. Like, we need to, take advantage of whatever years Matthew Stafford has left or whatever the case may be. So there are other teams that I think he could potentially go to. It's just going to be dependent upon which openings are there and like what is going to fit him best and what decision that he makes. Because even though he can interview for these jobs, it doesn't mean he has to take them.
Yeah.
He could very well say, you know what, I want to finish this thing out here because I feel like we're close.
Yeah.
Or we were a Super Bowl team and I don't want to go out on an injury-riddled year because we got something better than that.
Solomon comes off to me like that too. He kind of comes off to me as a guy that wants to get the job done before he leaves.
Yeah.
He's very respected, very well respected amongst.
Yeah.
I hope we get Zach and he crushes the other Wilson in our division. Man, Seattle just barely beat Washington today, 20-15. Seattle's looking very underwhelming.
Seattle has struggled with the NFC East for some weird reason.
Yeah. I mean, man,
they're going to be another one-and-done playoff thing where they're going to get into the playoffs and then just get bopped by a really good team.
Yeah, yeah. It's just coaching on that. Yeah,
Seattle Seahawks are the Houston Rockets of the NFL.
a lot
They're
of
going to win a bunch of games in the regular season, but they're not going to do anything in the playoffs.
fat James Harden, baby.
That's what Russell Wilson is. He's James Harden. You're going to put up all these stats, but then they're not going to get anywhere.
Minus the added weight. Harden got thick.
Oh, man. Thick boy nation.
Yeah. Shoot. You know, add Zach Wilson. I mean, I think the NFC West is really underwhelming. Arizona just barely beat Philly today. The Rams lost to the Jets. Seattle's very underwhelming. The NFC West records look good, but all in all, I think the Niners, if the health was there, they would have just taken the division.
They would have won the division for sure.
Yeah. Joe one's yelling here saying Trey Lance would be the perfect fit for the Niners.
My man been yelling. He been saying,
I've been yelling in the chat. I want Wilson. 49 says, I want Wilson, but it seems too good to be true. Something crazy will happen. What's crazy is whatever the Niners will trade up to get Wilson. That's all that matters.
Yeah, well, the one thing that concerns me about Wilson is that he has had an operation on the throwing shoulder. I really want to see what the medicals are.
Yeah.
So apparently it was like a high school injury that he just didn't get operated on until college. But who knows?
Bob says, how are the Rams feeling tonight?
Not
Aaron
good.
Donald didn't look happy. Aaron Donald did not look happy whatsoever. Man, hey, I mean, it all benefits the Niners in the long run. The Jets winning really helps.
I mean, I'm sure Jared Goff is fine because his lady is a smoke show.
See how much money he's making, too? Goff's making
that too, but, I mean, she's a smoke show.
Yeah.
Nah, but I mean, all things considered, yeah, they're going to be pissed off that they lost the game, but they're still in a really good position to make the playoffs.
Right.
So
yeah,
I don't think that they're that upset about it.
Who do you like out of the NFC?
Out of all the teams in the NFC, to go to the Super Bowl, flip a coin, man. Because it changes. I guess if I had to say anybody, it'd be the Saints right now because they have the best record and they seem very well rounded, and they have a good offense, a good defense. They can put Taysom Hill in there if they need to give Drew Brees a break. Then again, Drew Brees can make some sweet plays. And the NFC this year, I think, is really weak, to be honest. Like, I don't think the Packers are there. As good as Aaron Rodgers is, he's making those players play above their station, and I think that'll catch up to you in the playoffs against good teams. Seattle, way too inconsistent. Their defense is garbage.
Right? Yeah.
Tampa, also garbage defense. They're not gonna.
Did New Orleans win against Kansas City, or they lose? Oh, they lost.
I think they lost.
32-29. Wow. That's,
to me, this is really just a repeat run for the Chiefs. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mahomes is just unreal. Absolutely. I mean, the only team that I think could stop him is the Bills, just because of how well Josh Allen's playing. But
that's who I'm kind of guiltily rooting for.
Me too. I love Josh Allen.
I can't say that because my wife is a Dolphins fan. But
oh no. Oh yeah, I think you said that before.
Yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs though. They're gonna make the playoffs. They beat New England today. They're 5.
Belichick finally lost to a rookie quarterback.
He only had one on his throwing shoulder. It was an old lingering injury. He only had one. But that's still concerning. June, listen, man. Trey Lance hasn't played this year.
I've done
film work on Trey Lance. He's a project. Sorry, he's a project.
That's the thing too, is I don't even think Trey Lance has as much upside as Wilson or Fields to begin with. I think maybe they're about the same level, but I just can't do a quarterback that hasn't played the entire season.
I don't know that they're the same level though.
In terms of upside?
Zach Wilson's played this year.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is that okay, I see what you're saying. It's hard.
I don't know. So I would say so Trey Lance played really good last year, right?
Yeah.
Did he improve or did he stay the same?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. I have to go on tape that's by the time the draft rolls around, that's 16 months old.
Yeah, that's way too.
What do you do with that? Is that really a rely? I mean, we've seen players that in the span of 16 months go from being a Pro Bowler to washed.
Carson. Sounds like Carson.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be very careful with that. I think that, that puts a red flag out there. And, maybe that's not his fault, but it still has an effect. Things don't have to be your fault to knock your draft position.
Last one from Joe on before we wrap it up. Okay, brother, you'll see when he gets drafted by other teams.
Do you need a hug, dude? I feel like you're really upset about that. You type in all caps. You look really mad. Say you're going to be a Chiefs fan if they don't do what you want them to do.
It's okay, Joe.
Give me a hug, dude. We try to keep it positive.
It's okay. The Niners are gonna...
It's frustrating. It's a frustrating season, but
yeah,
that doesn't mean – like I think at one point this dude said they are going to win a Super Bowl in 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, he was mad. Like I was so
mad. Like just relax.
I think
better herbal concoction for your stress, if you know what I mean. Just relax. It's cool.
Better times are on the horizon for the 49ers now. Obviously, it starts with going after a quarterback one step at a time. No matter what happens, the team will come back next year healthy. They'll be ready to ball out. I'm confident that the front office will make the right decisions, man. But right now, it's on to the next game. They got Arizona. Any early remarks on that game now before we close it out?
Oh, man, we really need better secondary play. Richard Sherman looked like he was a little lost out there. Hopefully Jason Verrett's back. He was out with a non-COVID illness today, making me think that he had like the BGs or something.
Yeah.
He had bubble guts today. But, hopefully he's back. K1 looked nice today. K1 was out there. He looked pretty good.
Yeah. Mosley was all right. I think it was his first game back in a while.
But if you get Verrett out there, then you have pretty much, other than Nick Bosa, you have a fully healthy defense. So if the defense can keep you in it and you can limit Nick Mullins from doing the noodle Nick crap, then,
yeah. Hey, man, maybe that one Hail Mary was enough to put Beathard out there next week. So, dude, I love that Hail Mary, man. That Hail Mary.
It was sweet. Dude, that might have been the highlight of the season. Like, that might have been the best play of the season. Which is crazy because when he caught it, the dude was like, he catches it. It doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, he caught it and was just doing the walk. He was like, he flexed.
But, like, the commentator legit was like, he catches it for a touchdown, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hey, Harlan said Trent Brown was playing today, though. Harlan said Trent Brown.
That was a Kevin Harlan mistake, but
it was bad. Guys, Josh, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a fun stream. Obviously, no Zach today. Me and Matt held it down. Yep. We love it. We love interacting with you guys. We love talking. Matt, close it out for us, my man.
Yeah, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That gets us really going with the YouTube algorithm. Leave your comments. Keep coming around. We love interacting with you guys. Hit the bell for notifications. Never miss another video. We come at you all the time. We'll see you guys soon. Happy holidays. Until next time, guys, go Niners.
Happy holidays and go Niners.